everyone. Welcome to another edition of Ringside. I'm John.
I'm Kendra.
And you know what time of year it is? It's the most wonderful
year. Okay, we weren't on the same wavelength. Yeah. It's like one of those tests that you do to see if you're compatible with somebody and you try to say the same thing on the count of three, but we fucked it up.
Well, I mean, to our credit, we went to the same time of year.
Yeah. Well, the first bullet point on our list of things to talk about is Christmas time. So yeah,
who wrote that?
Well, I wouldn't give us too much credit on. Oh, we both happened to sing a Christmas song. No, that was prescribed, pre-written. So. Anyway.
If you're done being an ass.
I'm never done.
A stupid ass. Y'all, we're gonna celebrate the holidays at a later time. I mean, we're celebrating the holidays now. We're putting up our Christmas tree. By the time you hear this episode, in theory, our Christmas tree's been put up.
The Christmas tree will be up. The Christmas tree was supposed to be up November 1st. That is what we told people we were going to do. We are November 1st Christmas time people. Thanksgiving is a holiday best celebrated one day a year.
Right.
Christmas, or whatever wintertime holiday you celebrate, I assume, is best celebrated over two and a half, sometimes 3 full months.
Yeah.
We started buying stuff in October.
Yeah. So we've been in the holiday spirit. We've got some holiday decorations up, but we're falling behind a little bit. Yeah. But don't worry, we're on it. We're gonna fix that.
But yeah, so that's that on that. I don't think we have any plans. Maybe you'll see some kind of holiday content coming up. If there's anything specific you guys would like to see from us, let us know. We might have to revive the old Netflix to get some rom-coms watched, because you guys know that's my shit.
Y'all love the roms and y'all love the coms.
I'm y'all. I love it. And in the past, I've ranked Netflix Christmas specials or Christmas movies. That's somewhere on Perez, periodically somewhere. I think it was
probably on the YouTube channel.
2020, 2021 maybe?
Yeah, in the early days, in the before times.
So the camera quality is probably ass. I probably look like shit. So have fun with that.
I mean, not you look like shit, but I mean,
it sounded like you were
the camera quality probably looked like ass. You look great. You've looked great.
I don't fucking believe you. I don't believe you. But yeah, if there's anything specific that you guys want to hear us talk about for the holidays, just let us know.
Yeah, let us know via all of our social media, or more specifically, you can mail a letter to the North Pole. And Santa,
I didn't know where you were going with that. I thought you were going to dox our full government address.
And Santa will see to it that we talk about what it is.
If you have any complaints, I would say get them to Santa ASAP. Yeah. Because he's about to get really busy. And he's not going to have time to read them.
He's already busy?
He's already busy. He stays busy. But the December push, I think, is when he's at his busiest. He doesn't like to be disturbed. During that time. Anyway, let's move on.
The holidays are forever, but we're here to talk about we're not even here to talk about wrestling today, y'all.
No wrestling on the docket today. Sorry if that's what you came for.
But we are here to talk a lot about Marvel, all the goings on in the world of Marvel Studios, Marvel Cinematic Universe. What are you looking at?
You're doing that thing where you talk like a radio host again. I don't know why I sounded so Midwestern when I said that.
It's in your blood. You can't help it.
Oh my God, please
listen, don't. I don't know why I do that. Okay?
I don't know. I think it's kind of cute. It's kind of like the equivalent of like young women on TikTok doing that influencer voice that I hate. Hey everybody, today I'm going to the store and I'm going to get a single apple. And you guys, I'm going off on a fucking tangent because it's so annoying. But like linguistically, we need to get a linguist on this stat. Where did this come from? It's like not a regional thing. It's something bred entirely on the internet, a new internet dialect. But like, where did it start?
Right.
Why do they all sound like that? I don't know.
I think it's more of me being a fucking professional.
Oh.
And actually knowing how to properly enunciate and speak with clarity.
Oh, am I speaking unclear?
No, I didn't say that.
Right. Okay. Do I sound like a radio host?
No, well, maybe you should.
Maybe I should. I'll try to sound more like you. So today we're talking about Marvel. That's right, folks. We have... I couldn't do it. Bustelo's staring at me. He's trying to come into the fucking room.
Bustelo, get your ass in this room now.
He really wants to talk about Marvel. He, actually, this is kind of a big get for us. Because Bustelo, actually, his likeness was used in the Marvels, which just came out this week. So he's kind of a celebrity.
Yeah. We have the man, the myth, the Flerkin right here in the room. Mm-hmm. Love that guy. We'll hear from him soon enough.
We're joking, by the way. He's not. That'd be really crazy if we just like happened to have raised show cats. No, he's just a fucking stray.
Though listen, we get a lot of compliments on Bustelo. We hear that he's a very unique looking cat.
Apparently he's very cute. And he's also huge.
So maybe we'll add his picture of his very cute face will be the thumbnail for this video. I
think he'd earned it.
But anyway,
sorry.
We're off
sorry,
topic
guys.
again. So
edit that out.
cut that. We are going to start with, we're going to go back about a couple weeks here. Mm-hmm. And because a couple weeks ago, Variety put out this piece. I don't know who broke up with who from Marvel at Variety. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that sentence made sense, but we're going to move past it.
I knew what you meant.
So Variety puts out this article. I believe it was titled "Is Marvel in Trouble?" And there's a lot. There's so much that happened in here. So I wrote down a couple bullet points of some of the more interesting or damning pieces, depending on how you view it. So the article alleges that there is major anxiety and just angst happening over at Marvel Studios due to a series of quote-unquote on-screen disappointments, the inconsistency of the quality of the Disney Plus series, and to no surprise of anyone, the ongoing Jonathan Majors fiasco, right? And a lot of these things are kind of intertwined with one another. So apparently, the studio heads over there at Marvel Studios really thought they had like a huge hit with Quantumania on their hands.
Yeah,
and they were kind of caught off guard when that wasn't well received. Made a good chunk of money, but not like the money they're used to, especially when you had a big part of that was Jonathan Majors. But if those of you who remember way back when that movie came out, just before the movie came out is when all the Jonathan Majors stuff started coming out. So that was already kind of like a huge blow to them. And then something we saw or heard a lot about in Quantumania, and then basically every Disney Plus series since, was the inconsistency of the CGI. Now, part of what this article talks about is how, because the Marvels had to be reshuffled and had, a lot of reshoots to go through. We'll get to that later. This movie was bumped up by a few months.
Quantumania?
Yeah.
Okay.
Quantumania was bumped up by a few months, which made basically shorten the amount of time that the CGI artists, the VFX artists, got to work on the movie.
The VFX artists who already talked about how overworked and underpaid they are.
Correct.
Had less time.
Yes.
That actually makes a lot of things make sense about Quantumania.
Oh, absolutely. and then that same, because of that, the one thing I will say about this article is interesting because you can really get a picture of how everything is relative. So some folks are even saying it's not even the issue of being just being crunched for time. It's these half-baked scripts we're getting that we have to fix in post-production. So that was a big thing with some of the shows, particularly She-Hulk. And we're big She-Hulk fans over here. This is just what this article is alleging. I'm kind of just going point by point here.
Yeah.
But allegedly there was we didn't see a the backstory for our titular character in She-Hulk until episode 8 in the original, like...
Right.
And then they were like, actually, it's got to be episode 1. So they have to, like, go back and piece it together. The showrunner for that... I'm so sorry. My tummy is making noise. So if y'all hear that, I do apologize.
They probably can't hear it. I wouldn't worry about it.
So, I don't know. It's a hot mic. So, anyway. So the showrunner for that wasn't really a showrunner. It was just kind of like the head person there. Was, I guess, either fired or they left the project. And then they were like, oh, we'll do it ourselves in post. Marvel was like, oh, shit. We don't know how to do comedy. And she was like, I think Jessica Gao, I think was her name. Can you fact check that for me? Yeah. She was like, yeah, guys, guess what? I'm a comedy writer. I know how this show's supposed to flow. So there was no real in the Disney Plus series because they've essentially looked at it as, Jessica Gao, that was her name. Okay. Because they're looking at these as, 8-hour movies. They weren't following a TV formula, so they didn't consistently have one. They weren't used to having one.
The flow of
right
television.
I will say the one that's escaped that has been Loki.
Yeah.
Which we'll also talk about a little later. And then She-Hulk was just also super expensive to make because
the character most of the time is
right.
She-Hulk.
And then there was also mention of the upcoming Blade reboot starring Mahershala Ali and how he nearly left the project because of a bunch of issues with the script. They had a director and they lost a director. And there are several iterations of the script allegedly that floated around, one of which had Blade, the titular character, who this movie is about, as the 4th lead of the movie. So it just this article dropped a lot and caused throughout the fandom, throughout the industry, a lot of rumbling and a lot of talking. We even talked about in our last episode how the TV shakeup, how they're ditching the formula they've been doing, going to more of a traditional TV formula, kind of starting with Daredevil. Or at least most notably starting with Daredevil. I'm sure they've kind of quietly done that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I just kind of... I wanted to talk about this because I'm like, geez, it's
a lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot to have. And I think the biggest thing they're worried about right now is Jonathan Majors.
Yeah.
For those of you who... We're not going to talk all the details about that. There's just too much to go into that. But essentially it starts with... some domestic battery allegations. And a few months ago, it seemed like things were kind of turning around for him, but then all out of nowhere, his management, his PR, his talent agency, he was just being dropped left and right. So, again, we don't know anything. The trial has yet to happen. Trial said to start soon. But...
It doesn't look good.
It's not a good look. And it's not a good look for Marvel.
No. Especially because they hinged so much on the character. But also Jonathan Majors' performance. What we had before all of that stuff was Loki? Mm-hmm. Just Loki.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Amazing.
It was that. It was his performance as He Who Remains that kind of, I think, shifted the ideas of Marvel Studios to Kang. I think that was another.
You don't think it was always the intention that he would be Kang?
I don't know that they were originally going to go with Kang as a big bad.
Oh,
is what I'm saying. I think I think it was that performance.
That monologue, essentially.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating how good he was.
And Quantumania, even no matter how you felt about the movie, I thought he was excellent in the movie.
Agreed. And Loki season 2, I thought he was great again. Yeah. And it just pisses me off every time.
And now again, we're not saying anything.
No, this is performance.
Right.
Not person.
Right.
I don't know that guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just a horrible position to be in. like changing or having this whole future plan set out that you've told people about, that you've given a timeline.
Ooh, timeline.
Oh no, Victor Timely. You've like shown people this is our plan, and then to have like the biggest part of your plan have these horrible allegations.
Right.
Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
How do you pivot?
You have a whole Avengers movie centered around this character. Like, presumably 2 movies, but definitely one is literally called The Kang Dynasty. So, like, what the fuck do you do? But, so that, apparently that was all released a couple weeks ago. Or really, like a week before the Marvel, which came out this past weekend. So this caused some shockwaves. There was also a book, I think it was called MCU: The Reign of Marvel, something like that. And in that book, they were talking about. Oh, fuck! It just left my head.
Oh no!
Give me a second.
Okay. The hell was that?
I don't know. I heard that too. It'll come back to me eventually. But either way, just a lot coming out of this. But at the same time, it's like even a lot of they just had a review of the Marvels come out. Now this movie's just because of the title was going to be mixed reviews.
Unfortunately,
right.
You can't, not even just the title, the casting,
right,
the main 4 characters all being women. Yeah. Mostly women of color. It's not going to be.
It's
fair.
But Variety was also like kind of harsh on their review. To me, kind of harsh on their review. Yeah. So I don't know. It was a lot of interesting information coming out of that. But also, I don't know, it felt like a lot of... Sorry.
Someone's revving up a fucking diesel engine out there. Ew, you just laughed without smiling. Do it again.
No, I can't.
Oh my god, guys, he chuckled and he was not smiling at all. It was terrifying. I feel like I just saw the real Jonathan for the first time.
Oh, no.
Anyway.
Sorry. But also, like, and this, I mean, I'm sure y'all have, those who follow the MCU, those who are Marvel fans, saw, especially like on TikTok and YouTube, all of a sudden, all the people coming out with their hot takes on, like, oh, Marvel should have ended after Endgame and blah, 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 blah. Everyone all of a sudden is like, oh, this article is, I've been thinking this the entire time.
There's always going to be people like that, no matter what comes out.
Right.
There's always going to be fair weather fans and fair weather haters. Is that a thing?
Fair weather I don't know.
I coined it. Someone,
like
TM.
That's ours. Can't take that.
And there always be contrarian. Like, that's why I don't like looking at reviews, especially critic reviews, because most of the time I'm like, we are not the same person. So why would your opinion matter to me?
Right.
Because, there are always going to be people like that who are going to hate everything until 10 years from now, and they'll look back and reminisce on how good it was compared to how it is now. So, just keep that in mind with everything, including this article.
Right. But meanwhile, this whole article, like, Marvel has been, this year, I'm trying to think of everything we've gotten from them this year.
Oh, brother.
And just this year.
This year's felt like 4 years, so I don't know.
Right. The first thing I can think of was Miss Marvel was last year, right? Miss Marvel was last year.
I think.
Yes. Because we talked about it at our end of the year stream.
Thing.
So, I feel like there was another show this year, but I can't think of what it was.
My stomach's making noises.
Oh
now.
Boy, we're both doing it. But I think of Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 3. Fantastic film. We had Quantumania this year.
Oh.
Okay, so we had Quantumania, we had Guardians. I can't remember if we had another show. But while this article is out, what was currently on the Disney Plus Marvel schedule was Loki. which has been, and we're going to talk more about Loki, but it's been amazing. It's been
Secret Invasion.
Oh, okay. Oof.
That's why you didn't remember it.
Yeah.
No offense.
No, I don't think. I think they're taking the L on that one.
Yeah.
I think
they're taking a lot of L's recently.
I think they're. When we talk about the Marvels, we'll hear why they're taking the L on that. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we had Quantumania, Secret Invasion, Guardians, Loki. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Then the Marvels.
And then the Marvels. Was Thor: Love and Thunder this year?
I don't think so.
No, I think
because Quantumania was in February.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so like I can understand, critically and just audience wise. Okay, hit or miss, sure. But at the time of this article, there is Loki's been on, and so as an MCU fan, I'm like, keep it coming, because again, Loki, I thought this season's been fantastic. And then it was really a week ahead of the Marvels, which is already tracking to be the second lowest MCU opening.
Sorry if you can hear Buscella walking around on my desk.
Yeah, I'm trying to...
He jumped up here like he owns the damn place.
I'm trying to clear a path for him so he can get the fuck out of here.
He's going up to the top.
Oh, okay.
Hold on, this might be loud.
Oh, boy.
Oh, pretty silent. Okay. Well, he's in here now.
Anyway,
sorry, John.
So, I know, I'm trying to get this thought out for 10 minutes. And a week before the Marvels comes out, I don't know, it felt borderline like a targeted piece. And I'm like, I get that Marvel, Marvel's been in the headlines for this over the last, especially the one thing I will say, is that I'm happy the VFX artists unionized. They certainly needed to, and I certainly hope that they, with this slowed down release schedule that we're seeing, which is on here to talk about.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, he wants to get out now.
What are you gonna do, jump?
He fucking might.
Don't jump up there.
Hopefully we'll see more of these kind of back to form,
Yeah.
And they'll get their fair share, their fair dues, their fair wages.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Something about it just felt icky.
Well, I think, unfortunately, when you have any kind of piece of anything, any kind of media, you want it to get the most views, the most attention. Doing that right before a big release, it makes sense to me.
And yeah, absolutely. And here's where it starts to feel like, how much of this is now right? How much of this was fact checked? Because in the article they make a point to comment on how I feel bad if I say her name wrong. Nia DaCosta, the director of the Marvels. I'm not sure if it's Nia or Naya. I think it's Nia.
Okay.
DaCosta had left, quote unquote, left the project mid post production.
Right.
And it's like, oh, it's really weird that a director would do that. Blah 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 blah. And she did an interview during while they were doing press for the movie. This is before the actors' strike was over. So everyone else who worked on the movie got to talk about the Marvels, which is actually cool. There's some cool interviews up there now. Now that they have to ask more questions than asking the actors the same 5 questions over and over.
Is the suit uncomfortable?
Yeah. Do you wear underwear? That one guy asked Scarlett Johansson. Anyway. And he just straight up asked, he's like,
what's all this then?
Yeah. And she was like, Marvel knows what they want. Marvel knows what they want to do. They knew what I wanted. But they also knew that I had another project coming up. So she basically was like, they shuffled the release schedule so many times that I had to go. I was contractually obligated to work on something else. They were super accommodating. We had to figure out ways for me to work remotely, to work on post-production. So she never stopped working on the movie.
Yeah.
she just had to go direct another movie.
Right.
But they ran with this, and she's like, it's not uncommon. You know, other directors like Steven Spielberg have done the same thing. So,
yeah,
and because it's Marvel and because it's her, you know, all of a sudden it's like, oh, she left. Whoa.
Oh, it must be Dookie Poo Poo.
Right.
Okay.
So,
and then she came back to do press.
Yeah,
So
like,
what did that tell you?
And again, maybe there was some contention, but they're not going to tell us all that.
Yeah.
But
there's always, what is it? It's like your side, their side, and the truth.
Right.
So
But
it's like, I don't know. I'm not going to 100% believe an article.
Right.
I'm not going to 100% believe Disney.
Right.
I'll believe some mix of the in between.
Right.
And what I can see and what I saw, something we've talked about, feels like for years now. They're pushing through content so fast.
Right.
And then got hit with, I don't know if you heard of it, COVID.
Right.
Which fucked everything.
Right.
They're still trying to recover. And for a period of time, they were still trying to push out all this shit.
Right.
I think they've realized we need to relax.
Right.
And what you were saying before, there's like this slowdown, going back to form, going back to a television show being filmed like a television show.
Right.
Going back to having, I don't know, the program creators see it through to the end.
Right.
Instead of letting them go before you edit or whatever.
Right.
Happened with She-Hulk. So I think they are learning from it. At least I would hope so. I think we are criticized, me and you,
Yeah.
for being too optimistic, too
Right.
positive about a lot of stuff. But for this, I feel optimistic in the future.
Yeah.
Outside of the Jonathan Majors stuff, because that is just like what
Yeah. That's
what do you do about that?
Yeah.
That's a whole separate thing.
Well, I mean,
There are options. There are options.
Yeah. I completely agree. I think they can. I think with the ending of Loki, light spoiler. I think with the ending of Loki, they left more of an open possibility to go a different direction than we might think. Mm-hmm. That's just me. But outside of all that, I mean, there's some stuff here that, you know, is super exciting. This last week, we also got our first look at the new Echo series. Mm-hmm. It was a really good week to be a Marvel fan. So we got the Echo trailer, and I mean, I'll just be the first to say it. I think it looks fucking awesome.
I think it looks really, really cool. So, for those who might have forgotten, because I forgot, Echo as a character was introduced during Hawkeye. Mm-hmm. Did you guys watch Hawkeye? No? That was a mistake. Hawkeye was good. See, that was one of the needles in the haystack. Hawkeye was good. It's a Christmas show.
It's on my Christmas watch list.
I'm probably going to rewatch it for Christmas. It's very Christmassy. Love it. Hawkeye also comes into play in the Marvels. No spoilers, but you should know what's happening if you're going to watch
the series. We mean
Hawkeye the series. Comes into play in the Marvels. Sorry, Hawkeye is also a character. Yeah, he looks very cute. Bustella's up here just serving looks, quite frankly. Serving face, serving CUNT, serving charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent.
Oh my god.
What the fuck was I going to say?
We're just talking about
Echo. Yeah. So Echo's getting her own series. I completely forgot about it because there's so much other shit happening. But was it slightly before the trailer dropped that we got the news about the rating?
No, it's the same day.
Oh, okay.
But what we did learn a few months back was that, and everyone started freaking out. They're like, oh, they're dropping all the episodes of Echo at once. Oh, that's not like Disney.
Sign.
It's not a good sign. They probably want to get it over with.
Wait a minute.
But then
what did they used to do that for?
Oh, let's talk about it, because in this trailer, first off, as I'm watching it, this trailer is gory. Like there are some John Wick style fighting, mm-hmm. and like gun fu, mm-hmm. And it does not look like it holds back. The trailer heavily features Vincent D'Onofrio back as Big Willie Fisk. We also get a small peek at Daredevil, who's
mm-hmm.
going to be popping up in this series in his red suit. Mm-hmm. So I'm interested to see what that's about. And at the end of the trailer, you see it says for Disney Plus members to set their settings to TVMA because this is Marvel's first TVMA series, which makes you know what we stand. So now seeing that all the episodes are dropping at once, I'm like, okay, this makes complete sense. It feels the look of it, just the way it's shot, and just the whole vibe. It feels very much in vein of the Netflix Marvel stuff.
Yeah. Which was, for the most part, great. Some of the best Marvel series content ever. Yeah. So I'm super excited for it. I can't wait for Echo to sign "fuck you" to someone. She's gotta. I need it.
You know what I really would love? I don't know if it'll happen. I'd love for Echo to maybe cross paths with a certain PI.
Stop. No. We can't speak that into existence. Listen, I've been very grateful to get the Matt Murdock content that I have gotten recently between fucking
Spider-Man,
No Way Home, She-Hulk, now Echo. I'm jonesing. I'm jonesing for Jessica Jones. Jessica Jones was my favorite series. Sorry, Daredevil. It was so good. She was so good. If she comes back, I will lose my fucking mind.
Jessica Jones had 3 solid seasons.
Yeah.
So did Daredevil. But, like, I think people forget how
Daredevil had 2.5 solid seasons.
Fair enough.
Jessica Jones was like, oh, it was so fucking good. Anyway, so, like, I don't even have a hope in my heart to see her again, because if I do, like, if I get hopeful and then it doesn't happen, what am I going to do?
Right.
Cry? No, not in my own house.
Right.
Go outside and cry. So, I mean, that would be crazy. That would be amazing.
We'll see. I'm not going to hold my breath either. But, but it would be cool.
It would be really cool.
It would be cool to start seeing them bring back, especially if they're going to go this route of doing these. Because also a comment that came out was just that it looks and sounds like Marvel is going to maybe stop focusing so much on
the bigger picture.
Yeah, and start focusing on these smaller.
Right. Which is what benefited them in the first place.
Right. So I'd love to see basically everyone back. I wasn't a big Iron Fist fan.
I
loved Colleen Wing.
I was going to say.
Loved her. Some good stuff. Bring her and Misty Knight back for something.
Yes.
That'd be great. I will say, if I gotta have Iron Fist back, I've always go back, way back in Perez Periodico's history. At some point, I said, give me either a movie or series directed by Spike Lee, produced by Spike Lee, something for Heroes for Hire.
Yes.
Put Luke Cage with Iron Fist.
Yes, you've said that many times, actually.
So I'm going to stick to it. I think that would be brilliant. Those are the times that I liked Iron Fist the most, was when he was paired with Luke Cage. So
do it.
I just didn't like that show.
Yeah.
I didn't care for the character.
Yeah.
And it's no one. I think it was just the writing. Yeah.
I also think he's supposed to be like a little bit of a cock, you know.
Yeah.
So I think we weren't supposed to like him all the way, but like he was just like a little whiny baby a lot.
You don't know The Hand? You don't know Kunlun? What the fuck are you talking about, dude?
Shut the fuck up. Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, I'm really excited for Echo, and I think again, like, you can't discount how impactful it'll be to see a show. I mean, we've seen her before, but to see another show with a hero lead who is like
she's indigenous, deaf,
and an amputee, like, that's crazy.
And
not crazy, but like, that's
it's fucking cool, because not only is she the lead of this, but she, like, in Hawkeye, if you haven't watched Hawkeye, make it part of your Christmas watch list. She kicks ass in that show.
I'm gonna have to watch Hawkeye tonight. Yeah. Like, I'm gonna have to start watching it tonight. I want to watch it so bad.
She kicks fucking ass in that show.
She's great.
And just by the end of it, like, she's such a badass. And the end, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, kind of sets the tone for what this show is gonna be.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
So anyway, I'm super excited. Again, TVMA, which I think I'm hoping that between this and some of the other releases, which we're about to talk about, is signs of a new era for Marvel that I think could help usher in like a lot of cool things.
Yeah.
Another exciting time.
I agree. Let's stay hopeful, everybody. Hey, everyone, let's stay optimistic.
Speaking of, there's only one MCU movie slated for 2024 due to this new reshuffle.
That's fucking crazy. Okay.
And that is Deadpool 3.
Mm-hmm. And they're going to put it right in the middle of the year.
Right in the middle of the year. And again, rated R. So Marvel Studios' first rated R feature film. Mm-hmm. Because they cannot do a Deadpool that's not rated R.
No. No.
So, and of course we know that Hugh Jackman is returning as Wolverine for this one. Pairing the two of them together for the first time since X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Boo.
But
has there been more confirmed like
yes,
X-Men?
there have.
Okay.
Well, not necessarily X-Men, I don't think, but
like older movie
yes.
Marvel castings. Okay.
Jennifer Garner
yes.
has been confirmed to be returning as Elektra.
Yeah.
Now the rumor is for this movie that they're adapting Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, but instead they're going to do Deadpool Kills the Fox Universe. I don't know if that's exactly what they're doing, but if they're bringing Elektra back, I wouldn't be surprised if they're bringing Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool. I've also heard rumors of the Miss Minutes and the TVA being involved in this.
Yeah.
Because for those of you who don't remember, the end of Deadpool 2, back in the Fox days, he takes Cable's time machine thingy and starts
fucking around.
Just starts fucking around.
Sounds like someone who needs to be
pruned.
What do they do now?
It'd be funny if he was the agent of the TVA.
And we talked about at the end of Loki, which if you haven't watched season 2 of Loki, I have a feeling it's going to be important going forward, so I would watch it. And also it's fantastic. But there are some characters, some actors specifically that I think could do really, really well in a Deadpool movie. Like Casey Eugene Cordero.
Yeah.
I think he would be really funny in a Deadpool movie, in any movie, because he was really funny in The Good Place.
Yeah, absolutely. I think most of that cast would do well in a Deadpool scenario.
I don't know if we'll see a Loki.
Probably not a Loki.
Probably not a Loki. Maybe a Loki variant.
I would love to see Sylvie. I don't know about her. I don't think. I think Mobius he's earned a day off.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get him back.
But that show was so good. We'll talk about Loki in a little bit.
Okay.
In 2025, we're starting to get pretty stacked with at least 3 movie releases,
which could be good or bad.
Right. In February 14th, 2025, we have Captain America: Brave New World. So this was supposed to come out next year, excuse me.
Okay.
But they pushed that back. Again, I'm assuming a lot of these really have to do with the actors and writers strikes that happened this year.
Yeah.
Which...
And maybe also be because of the...
just the slowdown. The
slowdown, the VFX artists and all that stuff. And I know Captain America, the first time we heard about that, it had a different name. And they had to change it. So maybe there's also some stuff to do with like story changes and stuff like that.
Which I'm okay with.
Fine, by me.
So that'll be cool. Of course, they've recast the role of Thunderbolt Thaddeus Ross.
Yes, R.I.P.
R.I.P. Will now be played by Harrison Ford. So
sure.
Hey.
I'm very interested to see what we get there.
Oh, maybe Red Hulk. Maybe Red Hulk.
Harrison Ford's old ass would probably be like, put me in the makeup. I'll do it myself. He's too brave.
He's shattered every bone in his body. He's like, I'll do it for the paycheck.
I do it for the art. Oh, the paycheck.
And then in later on, 2025, July 25th, so almost a full year after Deadpool, we get Thunderbolts. Speaking of Thunderbolt Ross, which will be led by Florence Pugh, and will feature alongside her
dad.
What's that guy's name?
Her dad.
Yeah, what's his name?
The Red
No,
Soldier.
the actor's name.
Oh. I don't want to look it up. I want to guess. Hey, guys, if you don't know this about me, I love to guess.
Yeah, she does.
I know it.
We have Sebastian Stan.
Yeah, keep going.
We have fucking John Walker.
Ew.
We got the U.S. agent himself.
Not the actor. He's great.
The alt-right Captain America.
Yeah, he's not going to beat those
He himself is not alt-right,
application.
but the alt-right have claimed him as their Captain America.
His best friend was black.
I know.
And now he's dead.
Isn't his wife black too?
I think you're right. They
No.
really tried. They really were like, oh, no, look, see.
But
I don't believe it.
the Homelander fans
Oh, no.
have accepted him as their
Not
Captain
the
America.
Not the homies.
Homelander's homies. Seth Rogen, if you use that, you fucking owe me.
Oh my God, what's his name? What was his name in Hopper?
Yeah.
It's something with a D. David Harbour.
David Harbour. Good job. And Ghost from the Ant-Man movies.
Love that.
And of course, Valentina. Mm-hmm. Whatever the fuck her name is. Val. Mm-hmm. So, stacked movie. I'm excited for that. But now I'm curious. I'm like, well, it'll probably be PG-13. But it's villains. That could be cool.
Disney villains. Yeah, I would really, if that was a rated, I would really love to see a rated R version of that. But yeah, I would go, I'm Florence Pugh and David Harbour back together again as those characters. I'm there. I'm watching it.
Again, if you loved Florence Pugh in the Black Widow film, go watch Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Because she pops up
She's
in that.
there. And she's
great.
equally good. Oh my God, I can't wait to watch Hawkeye again.
But if you're jonesing for some rated R Marvel content in 2025, November 7th, this one's kind of dumb because a week earlier is Halloween.
Makes more sense, right.
But is when we're slated to get Blade. Mm-hmm. We're bladed, right?
Oh God.
Which has been announced, I believe, to also be rated R. Mm-hmm. And I think in that article, the Variety article is shooting for a budget of under $100 million.
Good luck.
Well, I think that's okay because I think that means we'll get. I mean, the first Deadpool was made kind of cheaply, relatively
Under $100 million.
I think so. The first Deadpool movie. I think it was like 60 million, something like that.
That seems so low. Well, it's because I looked up the Marvels to see the
budget,
the director.
Oh,
and the budget of that is a gross budget of $274.
Yeah, these movies are
million.
fucking expensive.
Yeah, so
I think they're looking to make, which I mean to me makes sense. Like a movie like Blade, you don't need, a big fancy CGI light party.
Deadpool's budget was $58 million.
Oh, so close.
You were really close, and it brought in $782.6 million.
Yeah, it made
that's crazy. That's crazy.
And I mean, they had a full CGI character.
Yeah.
With Colossus.
So what the fuck are we doing?
Right. So anyway, and that movie would not have gotten made without Ryan Reynolds leaking the test footage.
Truly. Thank you.
So again, Blade, and you have Academy Award winner Mahershala Ali.
You can't fuck it up.
He was great in Luke Cage.
He was great in Luke Cage.
For the half the time they had him there.
I can't. Yeah, I'm so mad that they killed him off. Like, it's been 10 years or whatever, so get over it. But what a waste.
So they have all the makings that'll make for a really fun, like, kind of comeback year, I think. Mm-hmm. But yeah, just take 2024 to see it through. Yeah. Just make sure everything is where it needs to be.
But I also don't expect any of these dates to stay the same. After what we've been through with all of these things moving and grooving around,
right.
I'm going to take all of this with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
If they say that it is, cool. If not, cool. Whatever.
Right.
At this point, I'd rather, and I think, you know what? I think this is growing up. I think this is maturing.
Right.
I'd rather they take their time and make me wait than push out stuff for the sake of pushing stuff out.
Right.
So that's where I've come around
that's fair.
On the Marvel release dates. But yeah, I agree. Having Blade in November doesn't make any sense. Unless it's a Christmas Blade. Christmas Blade.
Christmas Blade, Christmas Blade, Christmas Blade, Christmas Blade.
That could be fun.
Yeah, but also, just move it a week up. Move it a week up. Have it come out on Halloween.
It could be like a Nightmare Before Christmas thing.
I hope we get. Unless we see him pop up in something else.
And we very well may. We kind of got a little bit. Yeah, in Eternals.
Yeah. Which no one knows what the fuck's happening with them, so we'll see.
The Eternals? They kind of just fucked off, didn't they?
Yeah, so we'll fucking see. But let's move on just a little bit while we wrap this episode up. Let's talk a little bit about Loki. We've mentioned it a couple times. I actually wrote quite a few notes down.
I don't see any notes.
No, talking about.
Oh, your own private notes for your private thoughts. Gotcha. I guess I'm not privy to those thoughts and opinions.
I was writing this down in a car.
That's true.
Yeah.
I was talking. So, are we going to spoil it?
Yes. So, it's been almost a week by the time you hear this that this episode has been, that the season has finished, has had its finale.
So, the rest of this episode is going to be spoilers, because after this, we're going to talk about the Marvels.
Yes. So, spoilers.
So, if you're not interested in watching any spoilers, thank you for listening. Make sure to follow our socials. If you're cool and brave and you watch stuff on time, let's get into the spoilers. The Marvels came out like 2 days ago.
If you're an adult with no kids and you can go see things on time.
Truly. If your priorities are maybe a little out of whack and you went and saw the Marvels immediately,
right,
then let's talk about it. But first, Loki.
So we said it before. I'm going to start with the finale. I thought the finale was brilliant. Mm-hmm. I thought it was somber and heartfelt and just overall felt complete. And honestly, if this is the last we see of Loki, I'd be okay with that.
Sorry, Kio's jumping around. Yeah, I agree. Well, I'd be pretty upset actually if we didn't see Loki again. But I agree.
Yeah, I mean more as a series.
Yeah. Watching the finale, it was very much a series finale, and it felt like that. So, but yeah, like you, I was in a place where I was like, okay, again, this is maturing. 2 seasons, 2 good seasons, 12 good episodes. Okay, that's fine. Don't push it. Don't give me a shit 3rd season just because you can make money off of it or whatever. But yeah, I think the Loki series as a whole has been the clear frontrunner of all of the Disney Plus shows for sure.
Yeah, but just one of the best things Marvel's done.
Yeah, and I think, a lot of that is Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah.
Because he plays Loki, he has always played Loki with so much passion and so much depth.
Yeah.
Like, even from the beginning, when he wasn't that old also when he started being Loki.
He recently did he was on Jimmy Fallon because again the actor strikes have ended. So they were like, get out there.
Go.
And he was cast as Loki when he was 29.
Yeah, like that's...
And he's currently 42, 43.
That's a big chunk of your life.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's a big reason why it was so successful. I think they got an amazing cast for both seasons. Yeah, it just felt like so much care and attention went into Loki. I can't say that for the other Disney Plus shows.
Right.
But it's one of like the best story arc. Loki's story arc throughout all of Marvel everything has been like beautiful.
It's just been one of my favorite arcs.
Yeah.
This sounds weird to say, talk about weird. To have just like grown up with.
I talk about this all the time because we get shit on all the time for being like, oh my god. Like I remember when I cried in the movie theater for the first time in my life when I watched Tony Stark die.
Yeah.
And I got clowned by one of my college friends. And I was like, I've been watching this man play this character since I was in middle school.
Yeah.
Like it's been most of my life. Like you expect me not to be sad? A little sad?
There wasn't a dry eye in the house. I don't care what anyone says.
Well, because they didn't watch it.
I'm getting teary-eyed thinking about it.
I know. They didn't watch it. And I mean, that's fair. But yeah, we have to think. You have to think about it like that sometimes. Like, this has been happening. This has been going on since 2008. That was a very long time ago.
Right. And I agree. I think Tom Hiddleston being an executive producer on the show definitely helped with that. But
I agree.
He's been given one of the most incredible just arcs, like Loki as a character, and Tom. It doesn't happen without Tom Hiddleston.
He had like 2 arcs. He had 2 arcs, but because of how they jumped.
But because it
still
felt
managed,
so like full circle.
Yeah.
And it's like one of those performances you see on film that you're kind of, I don't know, maybe I'm just, it's the sentimental artist in me, but I kind of feel like lucky to have gotten to watch it, you know? Like, you see this character's, not to get cheesy, but like his glorious purpose come full circle, right? And that's just a testament to the show. And the season was overall, again, fantastic. It felt like it carried on the story of the first season, but this season kind of had its own identity. Yeah. And brought something different. Like, I like how in season 1 we got to go to all these various timelines and see all the different Lokis and stuff. That was cool. That was fun. Episode 5 of that, where, you know, we see classic Loki do, is still one of the coolest things. But this was different. It felt it felt personal. Like, even though is still like multiversal, like time travel and all this.
It was about a group of friends, really.
It still felt like a very personal story to Loki, and his new family, essentially, right?
Because his old family's fucking gone. Oh my god, this poor man.
And then it just had some cool shit, like in the whole first episode. The whole first episode is just so chaotic, and there's some really cool stuff they do with like the camera work and and just the effects.
The sound is always great too.
And I mean, you mentioned the cast. Ki Kwan, just what I hope I'm saying his name correctly. What a perfect addition to the cast. His energy, you can just feel it through the screen. And it's just, I don't know, I just get so happy every time I see him on screen.
Yeah. Although we did have he's like so pleasant that there were periods of time where we were both like, is he like the secret bad guy? If OB ends up being the Kang variant that we continue with,
honestly,
as Kang, listen, I wouldn't be upset.
What would we be?
I think he could be Sinister.
Yeah,
if he wanted to.
He's Mephisto.
Oh my god.
And I mean, yeah, just everyone in this show just really brought it. And again, it felt like, I don't know. I'm like, man, it feels different than a lot of Marvel content we've gotten recently. And again, I think it's because, if nothing else, they have to knock this out of the park, right?
Yeah. And also, I mean, it's 6 episode seasons, which isn't a lot. I mean, they were probably still very expensive. Especially, I feel like this series was more probably VFX heavy than the first.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, maybe actually, now that I'm thinking about it, because they had like the whole like last 2 seasons, or in that one where they were running from that. Okay, maybe not. But I just felt like Loki season 2 wasn't rushed out. When did the first season of Loki come out? 2020? 2021?
2021, I think.
And I mean, 2023. That's 2 full years
that we've had to wait.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? If this is what we got, that's
maybe
fine.
2022. I'm not sure.
Let me check. But it doesn't feel like they were like pushed it 2021.
Okay.
So yeah, 2 years. It doesn't feel like they were. My first instinct was to say shit it out. Sorry, guys.
They weren't shat out.
They weren't shat out. Like, get them out. Right. You know what I mean? It felt like they took their time on it. And I think I agree with you.
It shows.
It had to be, this is the one that needs to be good. This is the one that needs to be well thought out. Especially going forward from where we left off. I feel like they knew that they were going to have to set up a lot of world building, I guess, for future projects in this one. They were gonna, I mean, how do you explain fucking time travel and all these universes? Like, you have to take time and care into doing that to set your foundation for the future. They couldn't fuck it up.
Right. But this, it's just such a great series. And again, it was like, every now and again, I'm like, man, what a time we live in to like experience something like that. And I'll be sad if we don't see Tom Hiddleston,
I think
or any
we will.
of them. But
I think we will.
But just the ending was just so like, man, dare you say, but it was kind of beautiful in like a really sad way.
Oh yeah, it was very somberly beautiful, kind of like Silent Night. Like Silent Night's like a borderline a scary song, but it's like so pretty. Anyway, it felt like that. But yeah, and what a just heartbreaking ending for a character who like he was a villain. He was a villain who didn't care about anybody,
right?
Not even his own family for the most part. And he had to like learn. And then at the end of this journey, where does it lead him? He's alone, the one thing he didn't want to be, on a throne, which he didn't want.
Right.
Keeping all of time together for his friends so they can
live lives.
So they can have free will. Right. Not even live lives. So they can have free will. In every universe, in every timeline.
Right.
That's so beautiful.
Right.
He's just a good guy. What was I doing this for? I was telling myself to remember something and then I forgot it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Cool. Love when that happens.
Well, you think about that for
Sorry.
a while. It's like me thinking about that book. I still don't know what I was going to say from it.
What book? Oh, yeah. I remember what you're talking about. What was I going to say? I don't remember. Keep going.
Well, anyway, if you let us know what y'all thought of Loki Season 2.
Yeah.
One of the last things I want to talk about here, we just saw The Marvels.
Yes.
The highly anticipated sequel to several projects.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel, Ms. Marvel, and WandaVision.
Yeah.
All in one.
Yeah.
And I'll just say that kind of my overall thought real quick. This movie is fun.
Yeah.
This movie is super, super fun. I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was great because of how fun and just a great time it was.
Mm-hmm. I agree. One of the things I liked the most about it was that it was an hour and 45 minutes. Guys, my bladder said thank you. I can't sit through another fucking 3-hour Marvel movie. I just can't do it. And it didn't need to be that long. So, I agree with you. It was very fun. All the switching when they use their power mechanics.
So cool.
It was so cool to see those sequences.
Especially the first. You and I talked about the first one.
Yeah, the first one.
Time they were doing
it. Because it was just kind of very haphazard and we're switching around to all these different scenes. And it must have been a lot of an acting challenge to like, oh, I was just dropped in here. And now I need to figure out like, yeah.
I think about the choreography because
it had to be perfect. Yeah.
Also, shout out to the Khan family, who I'm going to be saying that this entire review. But they got in on the first action set piece.
They did. Good for them. The Khan family is, I think, one of my favorite MCU families. I think we said that when we talked about
Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel, yeah. They're so good, and they were still good.
Yeah.
I don't even feel like they were in it for, like, very much. They were in it a good amount, and they still managed to be, like, one of the best parts of the whole movie.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was really fun. Listen, don't think of me any differently. I liked Captain Marvel, the first Captain Marvel.
Yeah, me too.
And you know what? I think a lot of people who said that they didn't at the time look back on it fondly now. Hey, maybe it wasn't that bad. No, it wasn't that bad. It was never that bad.
No.
Anyway, rewatch Captain Marvel. If you felt a certain way about it the first time, maybe your feelings have changed, but it was never that bad. I really like Carol as a character. Mm-hmm. I think she is so strong, right? Like that's her thing. She's almost too strong, almost overpowered. But I feel like in this movie we got more vulnerability. Mm-hmm. She was going through a lot in that first one. Didn't know who she was, didn't know how she got there. Yeah.
Right.
This one it felt more
kind of dealing with her
trauma,
actions.
The trauma her actions caused to other people.
Right.
The one thing that I think we both agree on that we didn't enjoy about the Marvels was that it felt rushed at times because of that hour and 45 minute runtime. There were some moments that weren't as, I won't say fleshed out. I'll say explored.
Yeah, there's some things that just MCU wise that aren't explored as much. But for me, I'm okay with that. But I think what it was is just that some of the more emotional beats that could have really resonated were just rushed. Quick. They rushed through it a little bit. But you and I were talking about this. I think that might have been partially intentional, because we think about it, we have this, most of our leads are women, our directors are women. So I think that the idea was to make a fun movie. And I think that shows through. And I think, I don't know, maybe I'm as a cis het man am looking into this am looking into this too much, but I think maybe because of all these women there, they don't want to have this movie of just women being emotional. And I'm not saying that.
I get what you mean.
Right.
But the thing that's frustrating, not to talk about the plight of being a woman for too long, but the thing that's frustrating is that you are damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Right. They're either overly emotional, hysterical, or iron, like cold, unfeeling, needs to smile more. It's really hard to balance that in a way that people won't complain about. People will always complain either way. So,
but just like several parts that I thought like I would have loved to have seen like explored more. Is Kamala, like there was that brief moment where Carol like kind of yelled at her and was like, we have to save who we can save.
Yeah. And then like the next scene she was like, sorry about that.
Right.
You're
like,
forgiven.
I would have liked to have seen Kamala like really struggle with what it means to be a hero, because I mean that's a lesson they learn time and time again. Yeah. Sometimes we can't save everyone. Yeah.
Or what does it mean to be a hero in a team? Because she was alone for the most part. So this is all new for them in that regard.
So it would have been nice to have seen Kamala question her hero a little more. Yeah. But also like the reuniting of
an aunt and her niece, basically.
So it would have been nice to explore that and like feel deeper, the gravity of that. Like she just I needed family and you weren't there. Like
I agree. And then they were just like, anyway, back to this.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I thought we were gonna get more of that. I've been waiting for years for that.
Right. So stuff like that. And again, that said, and again, maybe, I acknowledge that I maybe looked into the other bit a little too much. But even with
if that's what you got out of it, then that's what you got out of it. You don't need to apologize for that.
But I feel like even with all that, it didn't stop me from enjoying the movie. I still very much thought it was such a great time. I think the balance of comedy was used well. I don't think it was as overbearing or like in your face as I'm not saying it because I disliked it, but not as much as like Thor: Love and Thunder, which was like silly, kind of in your face, little, maybe sometimes a little overbearing, depending on your tolerance for that. Yeah. Again, I enjoyed that movie as well, but I can definitely see why some of that stuff might not land as much. But I thought there was a good balance. Brie Larson, Tiana Paris, and Iman Vellani had a super fun dynamic together.
Which is, I would say lucky, but we got them in 3 different things. Right. Like, for them to come together and have that chemistry was good.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Tiana Paris was so good in WandaVision.
She was so good. She was good in this too. They were all
they
good.
were fantastic.
Yeah. It's just I wish they were so good. I wish I could see more of them. Maybe there's like a director's cut.
We had the 3-hour cut.
I want the 3-hour cut.
Speaking of standout performances, Iman Vellani. If y'all have been with us for a while, we love Miss Marvel. I thought she just gave such a standout performance in this movie because she already being so young, but also being an actual like comic book MCU just nerd through and through. She does this like bright-eyed thing for Kamala. She captures that really well. But for as young, she's like what, 20?
She's 21. She was born in 2002. Oh my God.
She has such great comedic timing.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't like that shit is hard.
Yeah. It wasn't 2 leads and their like co-star, you know what I mean? It was 3 leads.
Yeah.
Standing and playing off of each other equally well.
Right.
And I think that's really impressive to do at 21. Right. 21. That's crazy.
Yeah. And yeah, making your jump from a show to and that was like her first thing, right? Was Miss Marvel?
Was it?
I'm not sure. I don't quote me.
Let me look.
But yeah, I just think her comedic timing plus this, just bright-eyed, idealistic thing she has going on as Kamala just made for like a really fun but actually quite impressive performance from this young star.
Miss Marvel was her first.
So like, I mean, she is killing it, and she's so funny. I really would love to see her. I mean, I hope we see her as Kamala Khan for a long time.
It seems like we will with the post-credit or mid-credit scene that we got.
That wasn't the mid-credit scene. That was the end of the movie.
Oh.
Which we'll talk more about. But I would love to see her in just more things now, because she's so funny.
She's so good. She's simply too good.
Speaking of, everyone in the Khan family, y'all, they were, like you were saying, they're not in it the most in the movie, obviously.
It's not about them.
They gave some of the funniest parts of the movie. Like, they delivered some of the funniest moments and also some of the most heartfelt moments of the movie. I will say, because her family was featured so much in the movie, I do feel like we had a little bit more time to let those heartfelt moments.
Yes.
I love her family. Her
I know.
Parents, her dad.
All of them. Like, how do you even pick one? All of them.
Right.
Especially her brother.
Oh.
How tall is he?
Her
tall, handsome brother with the beard. And the glasses.
He's pretty funny.
Stop. And he's funny? Yeah. Stop.
I didn't write this part down, but I did want to mention it. Y'all, for those of you who listen here, you guys all know I'm a musical theater guy. Went to school for it.
Right.
Do it, as a profession, among other things. Y'all, they have a moment in the movie where they go to this planet called Aldana, and their language is song. They had a musical sequence in this fucking movie.
That was one of the things where, like, right after I was like, people are going to have a problem with that. People are not going to like that. I didn't mind it. I think it's a cool concept to have a planet where their language is song. And again, I wish we had more time to explore that, because we got to see like a welcoming song, and we heard like they went into this big space with a lot of people in it, and where you'd hear like chatter murmurs. Yeah. It was just a bunch of people singing over each other. That was really cool. There people alerting them to like incoming threats was a song. It was like a siren singing thing. Like, all of that's really, really cool. I think people are going to see it as goofy.
I again, for those of you who now know, I thought it was fucking hilarious. Their whole procession, after we find out that Captain Marvel is a princess.
I thought that was cool. That was cool. And I assume that's from some kind of comic run.
It's so funny to me. And we just had all these musical moments, and we got to hear Brie Larson sing in this a little bit.
Right. And
with her sexy new mans, apparently.
Oh. Who said that?
You said that.
I said that?
With your eyes.
I did say that. With my eyes and my heart in the movie theater.
Yeah.
Well, you saw him and you looked at me, so what did you expect to happen?
Because I knew.
You knew.
I fucking knew.
Anyway, sorry. But yeah, I think at the end I was like, well, we know that Brie Larson can sing. She's sung before, so like, I guess it would be kind of a waste to not have her sing something at some point. But yeah, that was the one thing where I'm like, ooh, people aren't gonna like that. Same with like the Cats moment.
The fucking Flerkitties.
Yeah, we got two. Did some like musical theater nerd write this or some shit? Because did you write this?
I mean, this movie was. I think this is why I enjoyed it so much. I think this movie was made for me.
I agree.
Yeah. So first off, love Goose in this movie. Goose is super cute.
Love Goose in every movie.
Yeah, put Goose in more things. I particularly love the shot of Carol flying, and Goose is on her shoulder, and Goose is just enjoying the breeze.
Yeah, because he looked like Bustelo. This is where Bustelo's likeness came into play. Goose is it's like a Blue's Clues thing.
Yeah. So we find out in the movie there's all these little eggs laying around, and that's where we get all these little baby Flerkins. These little Flerkitties. That's not being used. It's mine, Marvel.
TM, TM, TM.
TM, TM, TM. Pay me. Money now. Me needing money a lot now.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so, and yeah, so as they're trying to escape the exploding saber outpost, the idea is to have the Flerkitties eat everyone.
That was another thing where I'm like, people aren't going to like that.
And the fucking, the song they use is Memories. Memory from
so easy to leave.
From Cats. A little on the nose,
Of my days
but clearly we were like, okay, sure, I love this.
Yeah, that got partially spoiled for us by Eric Voss. Thank you, Eric Voss. Thank you for that. Thank you. But yeah, it was really funny. Listen, we went to a hockey game last night.
Or by the time over the weekend.
Sorry, we went to a hockey game over the weekend, and they have like a human man playing the organ. And I was like, oh, hell yeah, he's playing the hits, like sports stuff.
Yeah,
and then he played,
Lightning, let's go.
Yeah. And then he played Phantom of the Opera. Uh-oh, we freaked out.
Yeah.
We looked around. Guys, oh my God, guys, who's cheering? Is no one else applauding? No one moved.
Just us.
No one moved but us.
Yeah.
We were ecstatic.
Yeah. Love
and
it.
I turned to my friend and I said, that was Phantom of the Opera. And she was just like, oh my God. Okay. Sorry.
But
so that's like the type of people who would enjoy this moment. That's us, yes.
Yeah, people with class, people with taste.
Class and taste.
I don't know if that can be used.
Phantom of the Opera, that's class and taste, baby.
Cats?
Oh. That's class and taste.
One of our cats perked up when we said that.
Cats?
He loves it. Oh.
Oh my gosh, he's so cute. He wants me to pet him so bad.
But yeah, those are two moments that I can see people maybe like like they're gonna shit on it now.
Yeah.
But again, they're gonna look back in 2 years and be like,
remember when they did that?
"Oh, it was actually kind of funny. They went for it." If fucking Deadpool did it, it'd be awesome, right?
What if Deadpool visits that?
He fucking might.
What happened to those people?
They got spit back out.
No, I meant the people on that singing planet. They okay?
I think.
I can't remember. All their water got taken.
I don't think all of it got taken.
They took all their water.
maybe they did. Well, again, that's a moment we don't really. We don't
explore it very well. So,
but I do also want to shout out. I can't remember her name. Who plays the villain?
Zawe Ashton.
Okay.
Ashton.
She was great.
Yeah.
The villain. I mean, it's kind of a throwback to some of the early MCU villains, where like it's very clearly one and done.
Movie's villain. Yeah.
And one thing I appreciate, especially with Loki being such like a big, like a lot of implications for the MCU moving forward. This movie is kind of about these three Marvels for the most part. For the most part. There is a lot of stuff.
Way more implications for the future than I thought that there would be.
But the focus.
But the story, is very much just them. But I wish we had gotten more with Zawe Ashton's character, whose name I forgot.
Darben. Because I think of Darman.
Darban.
Darman!
Okay. Like she briefly mentioned, like, this was the goal of my predecessor or whatever.
Right.
I was like, say his name. And like, how did you get here? We got a little bit of it in flashbacks, but like, I don't know. I would have liked to explore that a little bit more.
Right.
But with what she was given, she did super, super well with it. Because she wasn't really in it a whole lot for being like the big bad. I feel like she didn't have very much to like say.
Right.
It's also married to Tom Hiddleston. Talent plus talent. Their kid's going to be unstoppable.
Yeah, I think the idea was to make her a little bit more of a sympathetic villain. Because her whole mission is to find finite resources. Like, hello, that's that's gonna be us soon, unfortunately. Yeah, truly.
Going to other planets, siphoning them. That's the American way. I can't think of anything more American. She's American.
But I thought that she did a solid job. I think the performance was really well done. Just one and done. I can't imagine we'll see her again. But I mean, there were some things. Let's start with the end of the movie. We do see Monica Rambeau. She did successfully close that incursion. Looked at so I forgot a little bit. Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness, another movie that's going to be more important down the line than people think.
Yeah.
The incursions are when the basically two universes are starting to interweave.
Yeah.
And so that's essentially what was happening. So she passed up this incursion.
Had to close it from the inside.
Yeah. So she
told them this was something that annoyed me in the theater, because she was like, I'll go in and I'll close it from the inside. And they were like, okay. And I was like, close it from the inside? She'd be trapped on the other side. Right. And they didn't get it until further on. And I'm like, y'all aren't dumb. Like, I've seen proof of that.
Right.
So I thought that was kind of...
Yeah, I get it.
Anyway, so she closed it up successfully, and she ends up in, I assume, a hospital.
Right. So, I skipped one, but it's okay. Let's talk about this one first. So she ends up, in which we learn in our post-credit scene, in some sort of medical facility next to Maria Rambeau. Mm-hmm. And
looking fine, looking
great,
the same as she did, as if she had not aged at all, as if she couldn't have a daughter in her 30s.
Right. And so we see this really great moment between them two. Again, Tiana Paris was acting.
That was, I think, again, we had mentioned like the emotional beats were what
just
weren't explored enough. That's one, like, there were a couple in the movie which, if they had explored them thoroughly,
tears.
I would have been gone.
Right.
I would have cried. Her, Monica waking up to see her mom by her bedside was so, because she sounded so happy.
Well, the inverse happened.
Mourning, like, it was so beautifully performed.
Yeah.
And had the potential to fuck me up.
Right.
And then we needed to move on quickly.
Same thing with the Carol and Maria scene earlier in the movie. Had they made that
any longer,
right,
and I would have been gone. Yeah.
But then she's like, who are you? I don't know who you are. Why are you calling me mom? And then all of a sudden, who do we see walk in the room? This big, burly, blue, furry son of a bitch. We see Beast from the X-Men.
Yeah.
Played by Kelsey Grammer.
Yeah.
That was such a cool introduction. And he's talking about the professor, and he calls Maria binary. Mm-hmm. Binary. Mm-hmm. And he also mentions, like, well, you came from another dimension, which another universe parallel to ours, which is impossible, but here you are.
Yeah.
Which again, I mean, at this time 2 years ago, the TVA would have popped in and went, boop.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
But now she's stuck there.
Yeah.
So, a couple things that are cool there. I thought, well, first off, we see Maria in her
binary
suit, which is really cool. But also because Beast said a universe parallel, to me, we already have 2 confirmed mutants in the MCU proper. Kamala Khan and Namor. Right? So with Deadpool 3 coming out next year...
Does parallel mean mirrored?
Right.
Do we have the same but different?
Right.
Along the universes?
So that's one thing. And also...
the implications!
Theoretically, we'd have to see Monica brought back to her own universe, her own timeline, right?
Somehow, at some point.
So how the fuck are we going to do that? Again, very interesting. I'm sorry?
Agatha?
Oh, maybe whatever she's fucking up to.
Whatever the fuck she's up to. Whoever the hell she's dragging around.
Earlier in the movie, one of the big action set pieces is basically it has to do with all these scrolls being moved, courtesy of... Moved again, courtesy of King Valkyrie, who does make an appearance in this movie.
We figured from the trailer.
Presumably to New Asgard.
on Earth.
On Earth.
The sacred timeline Earth.
And for those of you who remember, there's already an influx of Skrulls living on Earth, as we learned if you were one of the 2 people that watched Secret Invasion.
We were the other 2. Also,
we're not even mentioning Secret Invasion that much here because this movie almost never acknowledges it.
Which is perfectly fine by me.
So, and they're on shaky grounds with Maria right now. Not Maria. Carol.
Right. Because they blame her for needing to be moved again. So, like, we didn't explore that. Was that purposeful? Right. That we didn't get, like, we forgive you, Captain Marvel, like, or is that going to come back to haunt us?
All that research of the Super Skrulls is still out there living with fucking Queen Elizabeth or whatever. Olivia Colman.
Yeah.
And Daenerys is out there somewhere being all fucked up.
True.
So I can't remember her name.
Emilia Clarke.
Yes. Now I can't remember the character's name. Oh well.
Gaia.
The mother Gaia. Yeah.
I was paying attention, I guess.
I don't remember anything from that show. And then, of course, the end of the movie, before the credits even roll, we see Kamala Khan sort of, in her own way, recreate the first post-credit scenes of the MCU, which is Nick Fury talking to Tony Stark.
Recruiting.
Recruiting, yeah. So she's recruiting. And that's when we see Haley Steinfeld makes an appearance in this movie as, what's her name? I love this character, too.
Kate Bishop.
Oh,
I thought you meant her superhero name. And I was like, I don't think she has one yet.
No, she's Hawkeye. Yeah, she's Hawkeye. Kate Bishop. So we see Kate Bishop.
And we see, more importantly,
Lucky the pizza dog.
Thank you.
Who does indeed get a slice of pizza in this. Love that for him. That dog is useless because he did not bark at Kamala. He did not care that Kamala Khan was there.
He's like, oh, hey.
And it seems like they're setting up a Young Avengers.
And I love that Kamala Khan is the one going around with her iPad that she stole from Nick Fury. No confirmation there. That she would be the one going and finding people.
Right.
I love that for the character and for Aman Vellani. Yeah. I think that fits.
Yeah. So
again, the implications, guys, we're moving forward.
But overall, I really, really enjoyed the movie. I love that Samuel L. Jackson got to have some fun in this one.
Let Samuel L. Jackson just be a kid every once in a while in these fucking movies. He doesn't need to be going through fucking World War III. Yeah. He got to just be funny.
Yeah.
On a spaceship. Good for him.
But overall, I really, really enjoyed this movie. I know people are going to pretend they don't like it. I
don't think... I think
there might be some people who genuinely don't like it. That's fine, too.
Which is fine. I would say give it a chance. I definitely think it's more net positive than negative.
Yeah,
we're very positive people.
The only thing we really said about it negatively was that we didn't get more of it.
Yeah.
Like that was, I think this is one instance in which, again, I love that it was an hour and 45 minutes, but because of that, you got to take the bad with the good, right? But it's really because we wanted to see more of these characters and what they were feeling and going through. That's the only, I think, the major negative. I thought for the most part the movie looked great.
I agree. There were some times where definitely I could tell like, oh, that's like a what do they call it? A digi-double? Like a digital double? Like I could tell you're switching places with people, you're gonna have to have something there. But because it's in action, it's milliseconds. It's not gonna pull you out of it a lot until you like VFX artists break it down and make it. But that's not how movies were intended to be watched. So I wouldn't take that fully. I think it looked pretty good. The action sequences I think are worth the cost of admission alone, just because they're really, really fun. It's a unique
concept
problem, to witness. And all the performances were really, really solid. So I say give it a watch. I will continue to ride for Carol Danvers.
Same.
Her movies are not bad.
No.
She just got the short end of the stick by being a lady.
Yeah, truly.
Unfortunately.
So I'm excited to see where they go next, where they pop up next. And I really like this. Hope y'all check it out. Hope y'all let us know. Super, super quickly. I want to take 2 minutes.
Okay.
to answer. We've got an audience question here.
Holy shit!
So here's the question, and this comes from Katie Obbs on Instagram.
Okay.
So shout out to Katie.
Hi, Katie.
If y'all could pick a ride for a Disney movie not currently represented in the parks, which movie and what kind of attraction would you choose?
This is a very interesting question because it's the inverse of a lot of other questions.
Right.
It's not which attraction should get a movie.
Right.
It's what movie should get an attraction.
Yeah.
God damn it. Holy shit.
There's a lot. There's a lot that you could do.
Disney's been around for 100 years. I don't know if you guys know that, but
there is one that I think of that it's not like an original idea, obviously, but it's one that a rumor I've heard that I'm like,
Moana water ride.
No.
Oh.
Repurposing, doing a.
He's back.
He's back. He's fucking burning donuts out there.
Burning donuts.
I don't know what car people say.
He doesn't know about cars.
Refurbing and re-theming Rock and Roller Coaster to be more of a power line from Goofy movie sort of thing.
Yes. I love that idea. There's no Goofy movie fucking representation except for the characters sometimes.
Right.
But like, are we the only ones watching that movie? Like over and over again? I don't get it.
Clearly not.
But
I think that could be and that would be an easy one to do.
That would be really fun, yeah. And would keep you away from that, like having to deal with real people and their real bullshit. Like,
right.
Don't make it real people themed. Make it
right.
I'm not against. I think some people are. People hate change anyway. I think people are kind of against things being rethemed into Disney IP. Things that aren't Disney IP are like standalone, existed before the IP. The
right.
IP was made, then it began. You know what I mean?
Right.
But in this instance, I'm not that person. Make it something Disney themed. Don't make it.
I'm at Disney. I don't care. At that point, I don't care.
Yeah.
When people were all upset about the great movie ride, like, and don't get me wrong, I love that ride. Mm-hmm. But like, they don't own half the shit that's in there, and also, why wouldn't they use their own space to put their bread and butter?
Their one Mickey themed ride.
Right.
It's like the only one that they have. And that ride's so much better. I assume. I never went on the Great Movie Ride.
I do like the Great Movie Ride. I do miss it. But I also love Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Yeah.
But if there was another
movie that I want to see represented in the parks, I would love to see something Tangle themed. The only thing, listen, Tangle's one of my favorite Disney movies. The only thing we have of it is a fucking turlet. The Tangle turlets. Thanks. I love it. Thanks. Actually, they're really pretty. I like the Tangle turlets, but I would love to see some sort of ride. What kind of ride would it be? I don't know. I would say I don't know. Maybe some sort of like escape something with Flynn as he's being chased
I
for
was also
robbing
thinking like
somebody.
The first thing I thought it was like riding some
Max.
sort of so maybe something like that. Maybe
it's something like a Flight of Passage, but on a horse.
Yeah. And you're like going
that could be interesting. Doing that thing, you could even, I mean, it would be really boring story-wise. You could recreate that initial chase.
Yeah.
Like where they're out on the tree that fell or that branch and they're like walking and they fall. That's what I say. I say some sort of dark ride, coaster style, not like Tron. Like Flight of Passage or that Harry Potter one where you're on the broomstick. I haven't ridden it. That one. Or what's the other one that's like Flight of Passage? Oh, I guess Tron is the only other ride vehicle that's similar. Not really. I guess Flight of Passage would be the most similar.
Yeah.
Where you're like moving and stuff, but it's horseback, so you're like galloping.
So you're like a Tangled, some sort of thrill-esque ride.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm gonna stick with Powerline Coaster.
Well, here's the fucking thing. If they rethemed Rock and Roller Coaster to be Powerline, would you actually ride it? Would you ride it, Ron?
I would ride it once. You act like I don't get on anything.
You don't get on Rock and Roller Coaster.
I've done it once.
The once.
Yeah. Y'all, for context, I'm not a big coaster guy.
Yeah. It makes this pick very strange.
Look, I'm just saying.
He's like, listen, I know it's a good idea. I wouldn't ride it.
It didn't say, what ride would I want to ride? It just said, what do you want to see represented in the parks?
We're going off the technicalities here.
That's right. I'm trying to think of any other movie, but that's the one that just keeps popping.
I mean, that's a super solid answer.
Yeah, I think I would just retheme, or I would even get settle for like some sort of live performance of some Powerline something.
Oh, like kind of like a stage show, like Beauty and the Beast. Yeah. Okay. Sorry,
have it be just like the concert, like you know, and he do stand out and Eye to Eye. They could throw in a couple other 90s hits in there just to have them.
I think they did that or do that. I think they have like a little dance party performance, like just out
right
somewhere at some point. I feel like I've seen it, but
so I
like the coaster idea.
So Powerline something. I love Powerline.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank y'all for tuning in. Check us out on all of our various socials: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch. We have another 2 in 1 month. We have another pre-preview coming up.
At the end of the month.
At the end of the month for Survivor Series. That stream will sound a lot better than our last one did. Yeah. Unfortunately, you can't watch the last one because
it sounded so poo-poo.
Yeah. So we won't be doing that again. But be sure you check us out. Follow us on all the things. And we are going to go. So thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
We'll see you for the next one.
Bye-bye.
Peace.